Good morning, everyone. Tony Laporta here, TonyLaporta.com. Anyhow, sometimes it's easier to just do a webcast and say what I need to say. And I've obviously got a bit to say, but let's take this back to, and I'm not trading, and it's a good thing because now I'm looking. The S&Ps are locked limit up, and I'm sure I'd be short somewhere, and I'm sure I'd be taking heat, and I'm sure I'd be going into Friday going, well, no, this market's got to come off because it's Friday and it's come off every other Friday. And I can sit here and tell you in major bear markets, which I truly believe we are in, when the market opens higher, you sell it. And when it opens limit up, you sell twice as many. And I'll also sit here and tell you that it's Friday. Don't lose your ass on a Friday. And if I don't trade, I can't lose my ass. And right at the moment, I can't trade. I actually have just around 30 grand in my account, and I'm going to take out another 28 grand today and leave my account with 2 grand, a little bit less, and that's it. And I'm done until after Easter. I'll still write every day and do what I need to do, but I'll leave the trading for the rest of you. I've had a real good run. I've had a good start to the year, and I'm not going to give it back. I'm just not in limit up, limit down. We've seen limit moves now in the S&Ps 3 times in the past couple of weeks, and that doesn't mean it's over. Excuse me. What is this? Best day of my life. Best day ever. Anyhow, I started in this business in January '79, and around, the S&P started trading around 1980, 1981. But in the career I've had, I've seen the crash of '87 and traded through the crash. And if you go Google my name, Tony Laporta, and you look far enough, you'll find my story, my crash of '87 story. I basically blew out and had my biggest day ever, all in a matter of about 90 minutes. Walked out of the exchange that day and walked around the corner and bought 2 tickets around the world. Not really sure how much I made that day, but I knew it was a shitload of money. And as it turned out, it was 220 grand. And then I made an extra 30 grand on the crash trade scenario, buying a 2-lot of S&Ps from the office in London at 5 o'clock in the evening, which was 11 o'clock in the morning Chicago time. That was October 20th, 1987. Traded the little mini crash, Kuwait crash in 1991 when Iraq invaded Kuwait. That was the second time I've seen the crash trade scenario work. I mean, I've only seen it work twice. There was another time in the Japanese yen where the trade did not work. We did not get stopped out, but we did take a loss. It wasn't a big loss because we didn't get stopped out of the trade. And 2 weeks later, the yen started selling off, and it went down for about 2 years, like 3,000 or 4,000 points. I mean, it was a huge move. It just didn't happen on the day, the capitulation day, but it came shortly after. I traded the .com bubble. Back in the day, and I was when the S&Ps were trading 3,300, 3,400. I'm writing. This reminds me of the tech bubble when we all said at 3,000. This is not. This is a bubble. But it went to 5,000. We said at 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, but it kept on going. And then when it came off the way we're seeing the market come off today. I obviously traded the Great Recession, and had my business going at that point, and I'm a big believer in the yield curve, and the yield curve went inverted around the beginning. I mean, truly inverted around the beginning of '07, first quarter of '07, and we started writing about it. This is indicative of a recession. And a gentleman I give a ton of respect to, Art Cashin, who works on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, he was saying the same thing. This is indicative of a recession. But the market continued higher for another 6, 7, 8 months. And all these computer geek kids, whatever, they're saying, no, it's different this time. No, it wasn't different. And we went into a massive, the Great Recession, we called it. After that, around 2010, market bottomed out in March 2009. Fed threw everything they could at it to stem the slide. Finally running out of rate cuts, and then they started doing like TARP, and they came up with a bunch of other things just to ease the pain on the downside. And then 2010, during the I want to say it was Jackson Hole, is when Bernanke came out and announced quantitative easing. I'm not 100% sure on this one, but from 2010 till a month ago, we always said that QE, it won't end well. This won't end well. And what we are seeing now is volatility like I've never seen it, ever, ever, ever. The crash of '87 was scary, but this is even scarier. And even on the way up, I was saying things and writing things like, the thinner the air, the higher we go, the thinner the air gets. Well, you can see what's happening now. And that led me to yesterday. In the morning, I took $17,000 out of my account because I'd been hitting my account every day. And then I just watched, the absolute crazy moves. And I'm pretty sure I even before the Fed put $500 billion into the market is when I made a decision that I'm done. And I put in another request for another 40 grand. So yesterday I took $57,000 out of my account with, and still thought, well, I'd still have a little bit of money in there to trade. And then the whole 500 billion thing hit. And that's when I said, you know what? I'm just going to let the dust settle. Literally in 3 days, I took $149,000 out of my account, and I'm going to let the dust settle and then strip the rest out. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's because, well, there's a couple of reasons. First off, John Corzine, during the Great Recession period, he decided to use customer funds to manage a trade that was going terribly wrong, and the trade went wrong, and I was involved with a fund out of London at that time, and it took the gentleman 2 years to get his money back, and he finally sold the debt for 90%. If he would have ran it, I think another year, he would have got 100% of the money, but it took 3 years to get the money, and And honestly, and he had in his fund, he didn't have a big fund, but he had his father, his uncle, a few other friends and everything. And it was a fund in the tens of millions of pounds, not anything monstrous, but it was a little fund that he managed. And he did quite well. And then after that hits, you're psychologically spent. And he gave everyone back whatever, probably 90% on their money, and that was it. And he quit trading the fund. And I don't want to quit trading. I just need a break. I mean, last night we're watching. Because I lived abroad for all the Seinfeld years, I never watched Seinfeld. So I think we're into like season 5 right now, watching it on Hulu and not paying for the commercials. So you're watching 20 minutes at a time. Last night I watched one episode and I said, that's it. I need to go to bed. And I looked at my watch and it was 8:31. By the time I did my bits and pieces and brushed my teeth, it was 8:39 and I'm crawling into bed. Slept straight through, got up once, but woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's like, I haven't felt this good in a long, long time. And I'm really looking forward to the next month of sleeping. not waking up, and then you look at where the markets are, and that's it. You can't get back to sleep. So I'm doing this webcast today more than anything else, and I did a lot of writing about it yesterday. And I've always said other people will teach you how to trade. I'll teach you how to make money. And at this point in the game, I'm trying to teach you how to keep it. And keeping it is getting a good portion of it out of the Merrill Lynch's and whoever's got your money, so some other crazy nut trader doesn't go blow up an account, and that it's happened. We've seen it happen numerous times, and before you know it, you have no recourse to get your dough. So, in conclusion, I've never seen volatility like this. I bought Volatility in January, and on a $50,000 fund, the Volatility alone returned me over 30 grand. I did have some stocks against it, which lost money, and I got out of everything yesterday. I probably should have just gotten out of my Volatility, because I got out of my Volatility first, and then I said, you know what, get out of everything. And I'm sitting in cash. And I think that's the right way to be. If you want to know what to do today, you got to pick a place to sell this stuff. And it's going to be another coronavirus weekend. So right now they're limit up. Who knows where they're going to be at the end of the day? Who knows? It's Friday. There could be an announcement out. I've heard a rumor that they're talking about shutting the stock market down for 2 weeks because of the panic we're seeing. And they don't want people to panic anymore. First off, if they make an announcement they're shutting it down for 2 weeks, who's going to want to be long for 2 weeks? The market's going to fall out of bed today. And then where do you think coronavirus is going to be with regard to the world in 2 weeks? It's going to be a lot worse than it is now. And if they open the stock market back up, it'll be a reminder of what 9/11 was all about. When they closed the market down for, I don't know, about 3 or 4 days. And then they opened it back up. I don't know what the numbers are, but it was a lot lower. So that's all I've got for you today. We'll see what's happening. Obviously, these indices are lock limit up. Crude oil's back up to $33. Don't even know why. I kind of looked through the news and didn't see anything, and I figured, well, it's probably just rallying in harmony with the SPOOs. And that's it. So just be careful out there. If you're trading, be careful out there. Get the money out of your account. Just trade with whatever that they'll allow you to trade with, the minimum, and move on. So that's all I have. Good luck. Have a great weekend. I'll be in touch throughout the course of the day, but not via webcast. Cheers.